Hello friend, so I hope you are doing well. So in the previous video we have discussed a problem from LoveBabbar SDE sheet. So in this video we also discuss a new problem from SDE sheet. So let's move on the sheet and see which question we are going to solve today. So let's move. So according to our SDE sheet, now today we are going to solve minimum the maximum difference between side. So this is very important question. So let's move on the question on, or see what are the problem statement. So here is the first version of the question, that is given an array denoting heights of an tower and a positive integer k. You have to modify the height of each tower either by increasing or decreasing them by k only once. So find out what could be the possible minimum difference of the height of the shortest and the longest tower after you have modified each tower. So here note is of assume that height of the tower can be negative. Generally height of the tower cannot be negative, but here it give that height of the tower can be negative. So let's understand this by giving example. So here k is 2, that is our we have to increase or decrease the height by k, and the number of towers is 4 and the height of the tower is 1 5 8 10. So after modifying the arrays it become 3 3 6 8. So the difference between the largest and smallest is 8 minus 3, that is 5. So our output will 5. From a second example, k is 3, that is our tower's height can be increased by 3 or decreased by 3, and the number of tower is 5, and the height of each tower is given as 3 9 12 16 20. So after modifying, the heights will become 6 12 9 13 17. So the difference between the largest and the smallest is 17 minus 6, that is 11. So our output will become 11. So our task is to only complete the function get mean difference, that takes a array and size and integer k as an input parameter and return the minimum denoting integer the minimum difference. So first approach in the our mind is a, if a height of each any tower is less than k, we just increased the height by k, and if the height is greater than k, we decrease the height by k. But in this approach is a become false in a situation. So let's understand another approach, that is maximum difference of the height is the height of a smallest tower and the height of the largest tower. So initially our answer will become height of the smallest, difference between height of the smallest tower and the height of the largest tower. And after modifying, largest tower so lowest height is the previous height's lowest tower is increased by k, and the modified height's largest tower's height is previous height is decreased by k. And for each height we check if there is any minimum height that initial uh, height. So we update this minimum by the minimum, and if we find any largest height by the initial height, we update the maximum height by maximum height, and our answer is the minimum difference from the maximum minus minimum. So answer will update by the minimum of the previous answer and difference between the maximum minus minimum. So let's understand this by code. So here our height is sorted in ascending order, and initially our answer is the height, largest height minus smallest height. So the answer is largest height, that is a height of the largest, and the smallest height, that is a smallest array's height after sorting. and our after modifying maximum height will become previous maximum height is decreased by k. So this is the line, and minimum after modifying minimum height is the previous smallest height increased by k. So this is the line, and for loop for traversing each tower height to finding any minimum from the initial minimum is find or not, and any maximum from initial maximum is find or not. So here temp min is update if any minimum height from the initial height is found, otherwise it will remain unchanged, and temp max is updated by any maximum height is for uh, I minus 1 height is found or not. If and answer is will become difference of maximum and minimum and the minimum of previous. So for this, here answer will be calculated, and we just return the answer. So let's submit the solution. Here our all test cases passed successfully. That means it is our efficient approach for this. If you find any other approach that is efficient than this, please comment this, and let's understand the another version of this problem, that is height cannot be negative. And this problem is also in the GFG SDE sheet. So let's read this problem statement. So here given an array denoting height of n towers and integer k. For each we must perform exactly one of the following operation exactly once. So we can increase the height of the tower by k or decrease the height of the tower by k only if the height of the tower is greater than or equal to k. So we have to find the minimum possible difference between the height of the shortest and the longest tower after we have been modified each tower. So here is the example. Let's understand this by an example. So here k is 2, that means we can either increase height by 2 or decrease the height by 2, and the number of tower is 4 and the height of tower is 1 5 8 10, and after modifying the height it will become 3 3 6 8, and the difference between the height is 8 minus 3, that is 5. So in the another example, k is 3, that means we can either increase the height by 3 or decrease the height by 3, and the number of tower is 5 and the height of the tower is 3 9 12 16 20, and after modifying the height will become 6 12 9 13 17. So the minimum difference of the largest and the smallest is 17 minus 6, that is 11, and it is in the on our output. So we have to just complete the get min difference function and return the integer denoting the minimum differences. So from previous question, here is a new point, that is height cannot be negative. So everything will remain same, but if our height after modifying is negative, we do not compute our answer, that is difference of previous and the minimum of previous and the difference between the maximum height and minimum height. So first we sort the array as previous, and we define initially after modifying minimum will become previous minimum is increased by k and maximum is previous maximum is decreased by k, and the answer is the largest answer because we have to find a minimum. So initially our answer should be maximum. So the maximum difference is the previously largest tower height minus smallest tower height, and here for each tower we traverse and check for the minimum answer or minimum difference between. So if our height is negative, so we skip these lines and iterate for the another iteration, and if our height is positive, we check if there is any height minimum than initially height or not. If there is any minimum height, after modifying, the temp min is updated by the minimum, and if there is any maximum height our from our previously height, temp max is updated by the maximum, and here answer is updated by the minimum of the previous answer and the difference between the maximum minus minimum. So after each iteration, answer will be in the answer value. So here we return the answer. So let's submit this solution and see what are the going to be happen. So here all the test cases is passes successfully, but in the from the previous question here is a point, that is our height cannot be negative. So let's discuss for the time complexity of this question. So this sorting of the array will cost big O of n log n time, and it will cost this line will cost big O of one time, and loop will cost big O of n time, and it will also cost big O of one time. So the big O of n log n plus 1 plus n plus 1, that means the our whole time complexity will be big O of n log n. So thanks for watching. If you find this content very helpful to you, like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.